Good morning, Kentucky meteorologist Dillon Gaudet here with a live look in downtown Somerset. Thank you to the Somerset-Pulaski Economic Development Authority for access to this camera downtown. You can see the wet roads. The heaviest of the rain has now exited Somerset, but we're still dealing with some of the effects of that rainfall in terms of the wet road conditions. Be ready for that this morning, but as you head throughout your day today, we have damaging wind gusts in the forecast, strong to severe thunderstorms, and that's after the heavy rain that is falling this morning. So some key messages for today: prepare for wind damage. And what's going to likely increase our risk of seeing some wind damage is actually the rain falling this morning. It's going to make the ground pretty saturated out there. It's already saturated from rain that we've seen earlier this week, but that's going to lead to easier conditions for trees to topple over due to the gusty winds. We'll also likely see some power hits as well, so be prepared for the chance to lose some power during the afternoon hours today, especially. Severe weather threat today is higher than normal. We have a level 3 risk for all the ABC 36 viewing area, and that's going to lead to an increased risk of some wind damage, as we said, and could also see some isolated tornado chances as well. Stay weather aware throughout the day. Stay tuned to ABC 36 all day long for continuing updates. And if we have to cut in later on today, we will. Meteorologist Jordan Smith and I will be in all day, keeping you updated. Max HE radar and satellite showing the last gasp of this first round of the precipitation moving through Mount Vernon up towards Richmond and now into Lexington. So we're likely seeing some very heavy rainfall here along I-75 right through the heart of the state. This front is lifting northward as a warm front, and that's what's going to be increasing our risk of storms later on today, because once this front lifts north of us, we're going to be in really favorable conditions for storm development. I'll show you a little bit more of that in just a moment. Now, we do have a flood watch. That's one part of the system to not let your guard down on, especially northern Kentucky, north of Lexington. We have that flood watch in effect because we could be dealing with some flash flooding concerns, especially during the morning hours. We also have a level 3 risk for a large portion of the state from just south of Covington all the way into southern Tennessee, into northern Alabama and Georgia as well. Here locally, our main concerns: damaging wind gusts likely. We could be seeing wind gusts as high as 50 to 60 miles per hour. Within some of the storms, over 70 miles per hour could be possible. Isolated tornadoes could also be a threat today, especially into central Kentucky, where we're getting some rotation within some of these storms. We're also tracking a low hail threat into southern Kentucky. High wind warning is in place for those counties shaded in the golden color there. That is due to those wind gusts outside of thunderstorms as high as 55, 65, pushing 70 miles per hour. That's going to last even after these storms pass. We're still going to be dealing with some very gusty winds here across the region. We can show you that here on Futurecast. So this is by 1 o'clock this afternoon, starting to see those orange colors, wind gusts upwards of 50 starting to move in. But for the afternoon, 50 to 60 miles per hour will be possible, and also 60 plus could be in place as you head into your late afternoon hours. So timing things out, we've got the rain on the way this morning. Winds increase late morning. We'll get a little bit of clearing. That's going to fuel the storm chance for this afternoon. That's when we'll have our severe weather threat and the threat of those significant winds. So as that warm front lifts northward, notice we're going to get a little bit of clearing taking place here into southern Kentucky. And as these storms get going into western Kentucky, they will be moving eastward. So let's take a closer look at the timing here. So this is by 1 o'clock this afternoon. The storms are into western Kentucky, but notice we're getting some storms developing out ahead of that. That could be where we see some of that rotation. The gustiest of winds will be right along that main line, but out ahead of it, we could get the possibility of a few quick spin-up tornadoes with that part of this system. But this line will end up moving eastward, and that's where we'll see the severe weather threat go. Here's a look at your severe weather risk levels for your Friday. Damaging wind gusts are top concern with the isolated tornado chance. Good news is we do have some light at the end of the tunnel, drier conditions for your weekend.
Have you ever seen a forecast like this? I mean, where the potential is really eerie.
And I told you this a couple days ago. I've never seen wind gusts as high as the models were showing a couple days ago. They were spitting out 70 plus 2 or 3 days ago, and it's looking like we will see that chance here for your afternoon.
Hurricane force winds.
Yes, could be possible.